You're listening to the My Simplified Life podcast, and this is episode number 65. Welcome to the My Simplified Life podcast, a place where you will learn that your past and even your present don't define your future. Regardless of what stage of life you're in, I want you to feel inspired and encouraged to pursue your dreams, simplify your life, and start taking action today. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and I'm excited to share my stories and life lessons with you while taking you on my own journey. This is My Simplified Life. Hi friends, welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac. As we forge ahead into the new year, we create goals and plans, and we treat the new year as a time for starting new things. I did something different this year and started a new morning routine in the middle of the year. And in August, I tweaked it because, hello, distance learning. I thrive on routine and my kids do as well. Quite honestly, the majority of kids thrive from having a routine and knowing what to expect. I learned this early on when my stepkids were younger and how juggling two households could be really tough on them. Imagine going between two houses where the dynamics were different and you were with different people. Therefore, you felt like you had to adjust to the environment you were currently in, and you did this once or twice a week. That's tough no matter how old you are, so as a child, it's even tougher. I saw this, and the one way I could help my stepkids was in planning out their dinners so they knew what they could expect at our house. If we made weekend plans, they would know about them in advance. It created routine expectations for them. I'm a routine type of person. I do things out of habit and I love organization. I will actually type out my dinner menu and then list the ingredients below the menu for my shopping list. If it involves Costco, then the list is actually in order of the store to make it quick and easy. That's just one example to prove how much order I actually like, which brings me to the reasoning behind why I created a morning routine for myself. When I was working a corporate job and telecommuting, we had a part-time nanny. This meant that I had time to not worry about what the kids were doing and could dedicate myself to what I was working on. We let our nanny go when I decided to launch my business in an effort to also spend more time with the kids. This was and still is amazing, but it also changed the hours in which I could work uninterrupted. It was more juggling and switching off and on between work and kids. I knew I had to change something, so I started waking up and getting up at 5 a.m. Yes, I joined the 5 a.m. club, and there have been days where I dread it and days where I let myself sleep in more because my body needs it. But it's the quietest time of my day. I start it by reading Streams in the Desert, followed by writing in the 5-minute journal. My coffee is already made because my Cuisinart is programmable, and then I dive into what my day will look like and start working. This hour of quiet and alone time is something I treasure, especially these days since we're together 24/7. In August, I tweaked my routine a bit because my oldest started kindergarten. This meant that we now had times to stick to and couldn't leisurely have breakfast and get ready, which also meant that the normal routine for my kids was going to have to change. I decided that at the ages of 4 and 5, they were also ready to take on some responsibility. So I created a checklist as part of their morning routine and had them help me. We went on Canva together and they chose the images that represented what they needed to do, and I typed out the tasks that needed to be done. This includes brushing their teeth, getting dressed, making their beds, eating breakfast, taking their vitamins, brushing their hair, and going to the bathroom. This has become their daily routine, and they know exactly what to expect. There's no argument over what needs to be done because they know this is what needs to get done before school starts. I have early risers, so we've had to implement the okay to wait clock, which lights up at 6 a.m. If we didn't, my son would be out of bed by 5 a.m. The kids know that I'm already downstairs every morning and will join me on the couch for some cuddles and chatting before we watching cartoons for a bit. 7 a.m. is breakfast time, and since they are leisure eaters, we make sure their checklist is in action by 8 a.m. with school starting just before 9 a.m. While they eat, I'm putting together the learning lesson worksheets per the teacher's lesson plan and ensuring that D has all he needs for his school day. Yes, his teacher is totally type A like I am, and I adore her for it. Kids thrive on routine and predictability. Children need that, and we as adults need it as well. I'm a firm believer that everyone in a household should chip in to the best of their abilities and capabilities, and this is right in line with that belief. They know what to expect, and I do as well. It's not regimented, just simply the tasks that should be completed to start your day. The first task for every member of our household is to make our beds. I was raised this way, and in my opinion, it just makes things neat and tidy. I've heard about the book and the TED Talk, Make Your Bed, so in preparation for this episode, I read the book because I wanted to understand why Admiral McRaven agreed with me on the task of making your bed first thing. Here's the reason behind why he says you should make your bed first thing. It's because you can start the day by accomplishing a task. No matter how big or small making a bed may seem to you, it sets you off in a positive way because you simply did it. I did find it funny that I have a checklist of 6 things for my kids to do to start their day with. So how freaking accomplished can their day start off with? A morning routine can be for your kids as much as it can be for you. I find it brings about a sense of calmness and knowing what to expect. So now let's talk about the fact that you might not be a morning person and are thinking right now how hilarious I am for getting up so early. Listen, friends, you don't have to get up an hour earlier. You can certainly have a nighttime routine for yourself and really should anyway. Our house is so full of routines that even our dog knows when it's time to go to bed when she sees the TV go off and starts to head upstairs on her own. Part of implementing a routine for yourself is simply that. It's for you. This is for you to find a rhythm that works for you to accomplish whatever it is you want in that designated time. In last week's episode with Rachel Letham, we discussed how setting aside some time in the morning for yourself is also a form of self-care. Look at creating a routine as part of taking care of yourself. For me, being able to check things off my list first thing in the morning sets me up for being productive and feeling good for the rest of the day. I've always been a morning person, so even things like working out are best done in the morning for me. I believe we all need a morning routine, but that it doesn't have to include waking up extra early. That's a personal decision. I want you to sit down and write out what your perfect morning looks like. Is it waking up to a quiet house, having your coffee already brewed, checking emails or watching the news, working out or meditation? Do you want to cook a hot breakfast every morning? Do you want to incorporate a routine for your kids? Write all of this down, and then it's time to start making changes to implement this dream routine of yours. Maybe you do need to wake up an hour earlier than everyone if you want to get a workout in, shower, have breakfast started, or maybe you simply need an extra 15 minutes to yourself. You can absolutely make that change. I set the alarm on my phone every night, and in fact, my phone now asks me if I want to set the alarm because it knows my routine. I have my coffee programmed and ready to go the night before, and I also set out my clothes on the edge of my bed so that when I wake up, I gather the pile and can change downstairs. Personally, I feel like if I put regular clothes on, even just sweats, that I'm more awake and prepared for the day than if I stayed in my pajamas. This can help you get in the right mindset to get your day going. As we approach a new year with new goals, consider creating a new routine for yourself. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is to not set it in stone and be flexible. None of us were prepared for this year, and morning routines and night routines all got moved around, and some eliminated altogether. Don't beat yourself up if you sleep in one day. Listen to your body and what works for you. If you still want that quiet time but can't get up earlier, then don't feel guilty about letting the kids watch an extra few minutes of morning cartoons or check your emails while they're doing their checklist. My whole point of creating a morning routine is to ensure it works for you. Make this part of your self-care routine. Do this for yourself because you deserve to live out your ideal morning. Create the life you want to live, which includes the type of morning you want to wake up to. Work with your kids to help them create a routine that gives them responsibility in getting ready for their own day. Remember that this is what is going to give everyone a sense of accomplishment and independence. Involve your kids because this is also an opportunity to do something together, and that's a gift. If you'd like to create your own checklist for your kids, I'm sharing my template in Canva with you. Just head over to bit.ly/MSL checklist and customize it for your tiny humans. Make 2021 your year. Take it by the reins and start creating and living out the life you want for yourself. Start by making your bed and creating non-negotiables for how you want your day to start in a way that energizes you. You're in charge of your future, so start that journey by taking charge of your morning. Until next week and next year, my friends, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and Happy New Year.